This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. I'm your host, Charlie McDermott. Welcome to episode number 693 of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today, it's good neighbor Kristen Pell. She's with Treeline Realty. Kristen, how you doing?
Good. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on the show and taking a few moments out of your day. I'm sure you'd rather be in like a nice Southwest Florida home right now, showing the wonderful things and how great the life is here in Southwest Florida for those up north that are going, wow, I didn't know Florida was this good. I heard other, things about Florida. I don't know, alligators and God knows what, but this is a nice place to live. So that's probably old news. You're probably tired of hearing that, huh?
Alligators and hurricanes. We get it all the time.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a dream about alligators last night too. I don't know why. It's funny, you get in conversations like in the daytime and you like go, it triggers a dream you had. Like, wow, that's right. I dreamt about alligators. Anyway, Charlie, back to the show, dude. So, Kristen, tell us about what you're doing at Treeline Realty.
Sure. Well, we've been in business since 2007. We do handle residential and commercial sales, but we do have a heavy focus on residential. Kind of our niche, though, is the 55 plus demographic. So that active adult lifestyle is super unique. And what we've done here is we've mastered how to fulfill what they're looking for in an overall community, not just a home. So a lot of people come down here and they think, oh, I love this home, I love that home. Well, what we do is we show them communities first and homes second, because everyone has a lifestyle in their mind that they're looking for. We actually have a unique questionnaire that we ask specifically our retirees on what's more important to them. Do they see a day with having a glass of wine at night, looking at the sunset, or are they out on a walk, or are they waving to neighbors, or do they like the privacy and serene woods? Everyone has different answers, so we try to match them with a specific community.
Wow, I absolutely love that. So it's communities first, homes second, which makes so much sense. And unless you've lived in this area for a little bit, you really understand that. I mean, coming from Pennsylvania, it was just the home, maybe the school district played into that, but you're right. I mean, especially for the 55 plus, it really is many times about the amenities. Sure, location's important, but wow, that's really smart. Wow. It's funny. I just finished a conversation with someone. Their parents just moved to a community, and he was talking about the community, the fitness center and the 5 restaurants and this and that, and not once did the actual home come into the conversation, right?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
We usually on our first meeting with people, we'll tell them, there's only 2 times in life where you get to be around people of the same age. That's college, and that's a 55 plus community.
Yeah.
So it's really nice because when you go to these age restricted communities, or sometimes not even age restricted, just active adult communities that cater towards that, it's so nice because they all get to hang out with everyone that's in the same season of life that they are.
Yeah. Neat. So what about your journey into real estate? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I've always been fascinated with people's different personalities, their different lifestyles. And so that, coupled with just an inborn entrepreneurial spirit, made real estate the perfect career choice. Also, I just love change, and there is definitely never a dull moment in real estate. We all know that, and it's fast paced, and I love that nature. So it's right up my alley.
Yeah. It must be great. All the variety that
Absolutely.
it allows, and different areas and different communities. Very cool. So what about when it comes to myths, misconceptions? What do you hear out there? And maybe if you have anything for the 55 plus communities, maybe focus on that, but no pressure.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of myths. We actually have what's called the ultimate buying guide for active adults. So it's a 50-page document, and it's all Q&As, questions that we have gotten that people either just don't understand or that they've heard from a friend, so it must be true, or they found it on Google. So we really help dispel a lot of that and properly educate before they even make it down here on a plane ride. But I would say, overall, just industry specific, probably that doing a for sale by owner will save you money. And in reality, FISBO sellers often run the risk of losing money.
Yeah.
I mean, that can happen in several ways. It's different for everybody, but for example, they could price their home too high and it could just sit on the market for a while, or on the flip side, they could price it too low and leave a bunch of money on the table. So there's, everybody talks about buyer's remorse, but seller's remorse is definitely a real thing too. You just don't hear about it as often. And actually, in fact, in 2020, there's a statistic that came out that homes sold with an agent actually sold an average of 295,000, but homes sold on their own as a for sale by owner sold for 217,000.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
you can't argue with statistics. When you hire an agent, they're not just going to price the home correctly. It's not just about that, but negotiate offers for you, guide you through the financial and legal jargon that come with selling a home. It's just we're well versed in language of offers, counter offers, contracts, all the things that we can do to help safeguard them against potential pitfalls.
Yeah. And you make a good point, Kristen, about the seller's remorse. I mean, we hear a lot about the buyer's remorse, but the seller's remorse, especially in this market with prices escalating the way they have. I mean, my goodness, how would you even begin as a homeowner with very little, if any, experience in the local market here to you might as well put a blindfold on and throw a dart, to select the best price for your property, right?
It is wild. And a lot of sellers will contact us and say, hey, we're really interested in listing you, but we want to see if we can do it on our own first. And it's just, even though it is a hot market, this is not what you want to DIY. I think they underestimate how overwhelming it's going to be. It is like a full-time job. Your house is a revolving door. You're getting dozens of showings a day. You're getting multiple offers. It's the Wild West. And when you're not used to it, it's just another day in the life for me. But
Yeah.
for them, it's super overwhelming. So, hiring a good realtor really is worth every penny.
Yeah. Great advice. So how about outside of the office? What are you doing for fun?
Always spending time with my family. This is the type of industry that really can dictate your schedule if you don't set boundaries. So my husband and I really prioritize and protect our family time. So when I'm not working, we're, at home, we're at the gym, we're on the water, enjoying all the things that the Florida
Yeah.
lifestyle has to offer.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, where do you work out?
A couple different places. Burn Boot Camp, which I
Ah,
absolutely love. That's
uh-huh.
hardcore 45 minutes of you're walking out dripping in sweat.
Oh, man.
And then nonstop fitness, which is near my house, for the days that I want a little easier workout.
Good for you. Wow, that's great. So, how about when you look back, Kristen, a period of time that you were challenged, had the old rough go of it, hardship, but you got through it. Now you can say, hey, because of that, I'm better for it. I'm stronger.
Yes, yes. It's funny. My favorite quote has always been smooth seas do not make skilled sailors.
Hmm.
And boy, did I find that out when I had a major hardship happen. So I had mentioned, Treeline started a while ago. So 2007 is when Treeline started. And then I actually joined them in 2009. And then I purchased the brokerage in 2016. So once I became the broker owner, a few short months after that, I was notified of some shocking news. There had been some paperwork that was misfiled at the DBPR, and our entire brokerage went inactive. So that meant no real estate activity could be conducted. You want to talk about pure panic. I mean, every pending transaction, every phone call, every negotiation, everything came to a screeching halt. So I'm thinking, okay, let's take action immediately and take care of everything. But, government entities, they move at a snail's pace. So once I made the change, they said it's going to take 7 to 10 business days to process until we can become active again. So after some raw emotion, I pulled my big girl pants up and took action. And I called a friend that is also a fellow broker. And what we did is we signed an agreement, and I transferred everyone's license over to his brokerage temporarily. That way we could legally still conduct real estate activity.
Right.
And then I had to assign all of our contracts over to his brokerage in order for them to be closed out. So once we were back active, everything switched back and went back to normal, but it was an absolute whirlwind.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty much any problem that comes my way since then, I can handle it pretty well.
Yeah. It does. Having lived through that and finding a solution makes everything else come your way. Like you said, it's like, walk in the park. This is
That's
nothing, right?
right.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. How about one
Yeah.
thing you wish our listeners knew about Tree Line Realty? What would that be?
Well, I would say, first of all, we really pride ourselves on the tree line difference. So we touched a little bit on that, on how we handle our 55 plus demographic, but what we do with all of our customers and clients is we sit down and get to know them and their story. So, if somebody calls and they're interested in a home, we're not as much concerned with, okay, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, square footage. We want to know, what do you like about your situation now? What do you don't like about your situation? What do you see in your future? Because when you can really get to know the person, then you can help guide them a lot easier, because a lot of buyers don't really know what they're looking for. They'll tell you what they think, but it's hard to hop off the fence and make a decision. So what we can do is remind them of, well, you told us that this is what you were looking for, and we can remind them of those things and help them envision themselves in that home. So, for us, that really is what makes the difference, that bond and that relationship from start to finish. But, I would say overall, as a whole in our industry, I think people just need to know how hard agents work for them. I think there's been a stigma for too many years that, realtors barely do any work and they get paid too much. And it's incredible how much we're asked to discount our services. And I mean, as a broker, frankly, I think it's just unfair. The reality is, at least here in Southwest Florida, we live in paradise. So that happens to attract countless window shoppers. And so that results in agents spending a lot of time and money on people without ever seeing a paycheck. There's so much preparation and struggle that go into building a personal real estate business, and then also just keeping it consistent. So those ones that persevere, that are successful, that are knowledgeable, and handle clients with the utmost professionalism, those are the ones that are elevating the reputation of our industry and deserve respect.
Well said. That's
Thank
great.
you. I'm a little passionate about that.
It's it's easy when you see a business owner, because really, I mean, obviously you're the broker, but all your agents are, it's a part of the team, but they're also their own business, and it's easy to for someone who owns whatever, a candy shop, and to see potential patrons come in and out all day long and not buy any candy, right? Talk
Yes,
about frustrating, right? But no one
absolutely.
sees the realtor going, from place to place to place, and being ready when the client from Minnesota flies into town, and they expect you to be with them for 3 days to show them every property under the sun, and then they go back and we're going to make this move in probably a couple 2 to 5 years, and it just there's like you said, and that's not even the work when you list a home, and the investment money wise, photography, ads, the time spent with open houses, and on and on and on. So I'm glad you brought that up.
You are on point. And all of that is so unbelievably true. And I'm glad that you see that and feel that, with our current market the way it is, it's a different kind of hard work because you're writing offer after offer after offer after offer for the same buyer, and they are getting so discouraged, and you're feeling that disappointment for them, because you're writing offers as strong as you can and you're advising them and you're helping them, but at the end of the day, it could take a while till they finally secure one. And you want them to go to sleep at night feeling like they didn't overpay for it. And it's just, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot to navigate, especially in today's market. So,
Yep.
I would encourage any listener that's, thinking of buying or selling home, just make sure you really interview your realtor. NAR right now has the highest memberships that they've ever had. So that means in the history of National Association of Realtors, there are more people getting their real estate license, which in my opinion is scary.
Yeah.
The barrier of entry in Florida is super low for a real estate license. So just because your friend or your cousin Bob or your friend's friend got a real estate license doesn't mean you should use them. You really should interview and find the right fit for you, because there's a lot on the line when you're entering a financial contract.
Yeah, boy, for sure. Well, great advice. I know we have listeners who want to get in touch, want to learn more. Kristen, what's the best way for them to do so?
Sure. Our website is treelinerealty.com. We have an overall email of homes@treelinerealty.com. If they want to reach me directly, they can email me at kristen@treelinerealty.com.
Well, terrific. Well, really appreciate your time today, Kristen, and wish you the best going forward there.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local business to be featured on the show, go to goodneighborpodcast.com. That's goodneighborpodcast.com, or call us at 239-224-4105.